The new Excel Lambda function allows you to define your own custom functions using Excel's familiar formula language. And that means we no longer need JavaScript or VBA programming knowledge to create our own functions. And this is a huge step forward. For those familiar with the concept of lambdas, it's worth noting that the lambda function makes Excel's formula language Turing complete. Now currently the lambda function is only available to Microsoft 365 users on the Office Insider beta channel. It'll be rolled out to all Microsoft 365 users over time, but it won't be made available in Excel 2019 or earlier. Let's take a look. The lambda function only has two arguments: the input variables, of which you can have up to 253, and the calculation you want your custom function to perform. Let's step through an easy example. We'll start with the lambda function. I need to declare the variables. I'm going to have two. I'm just going to call them x and y. Now keep in mind when naming your variables that they can't clash with cell references and you can't use dots in names. It's also a good idea to avoid existing function names. Now all I need to do is tell Excel what calculation I want to perform with x and y. And the calculation is always the last argument. I simply want to add them, so it's x plus y, close parentheses on my lambda. Now when I press enter, I'm going to get the calc error because I haven't provided the lambda with the values for those variables. I can test the lambda in the grid, opening another parentheses and then entering the variables. So let's say x is 2 and y is 3, close parentheses, and now my lambda can evaluate in the cell. 5 is the answer I'd expect, so I know it's working correctly. Now you're probably thinking, there's a whole lot more work than just entering 2 plus 3. Why would I use a lambda? Well, the intention is that you define a name for your lambda so that it can be used anywhere in the workbook. So let's copy the lambda. Now I want to just get the lambda part, not the variables. Press escape. It's now copied to my clipboard. And then on the formulas tab, I'm going to define a name. Here we give the lambda a name. I'll just call it my lambda. I'm going to paste my formula in the refers to. You can see it has the scope of the workbook, which means I'll be able to use this function anywhere in my current file. Now if you want to use your lambdas in other workbooks, you need to copy them across. In the comment box, you might want to enter a description of how your function works. This is going to appear as a tooltip when using the function, so it's helpful, especially for others using your lambdas. I'm simply entering the syntax, but depending on the complexity of your lambda, you might want to elaborate a bit more. I'll click OK. And now I can use my lambda in the worksheet. Lambda functions work like any other function. You prefix it with the equal sign and then start typing the name. Now you notice that the lambda icon is different to the built-in function icons, so that's an easy way to tell them apart. I've also used a combination of upper and lower case in my lambda name. As you continue typing, the list will be filtered. You can see there the tooltip that I entered in the comments when I defined the name. I'll tab to enter it, open parentheses, and now all I need to do is enter the variables. So let's go with the same example, 2 and 3, close parentheses, and then my lambda evaluates to 5. So there you have a very basic lambda. Let's look at some more practical examples. Sales tax, GST or VAT is a common calculation we need to perform, whether that's adding it to an amount or finding the amount net of tax. So this is an ideal candidate for creating as a lambda function. Let's say our VAT rate is 20%. And I often receive data containing amounts including VAT, and I need to find the net amount excluding VAT. So the formula is simply the amount divided by 1.2. Now I can convert this formula to a lambda, so let's wrap it in lambda. I need to name the variable, we'll call it amount. And then all I need to do is replace the cell reference with the variable name, close parentheses. Now let's test that it works, so we're going to enter the variable here. I'll reference the cell underneath there, close parentheses, press enter. You can see it's correctly calculating. I can copy it down. Looks good, so I'm ready to create my lambda. Again, just copying the formula, not the variable that I've declared at the end. I'm going to define a name. Now it's picked up the column header. I'm going to call this net of VAT. I'm going to paste my formula in. Again, it has the scope of the workbook, which is great. And in the comment, I'm going to explain the purpose of the function and the argument. Click OK. Now I can get rid of these formulas and simply call my custom function. There it is there, tab to select it, open the parentheses. Now I can select the range of cells and close parentheses, and just like any other dynamic array, my lambda spills the results. Now if required, I can easily update my custom function by editing the variables via the name manager on the formulas tab, then edit. And in here I can change this. So for example, if the VAT rate went up to 25%, I could change it in there. Click OK and close. You can see it now feeds through and recalculates automatically. So far we've only looked at basic Lambda functions, but we can also use them with other functions. Let's take a look. Here I've got a list of values and I want to test whether they fall between the lower and upper limits. We might call this the between function. Now it's actually easy to create a between formula using the median function, but that's not obvious to most Excel users. So this is a good example of where lambdas can be super helpful to less experienced users. Now to write this with the median function, we simply test if the value is equal to the median of the value, the lower amount and the upper amount. And you can see there 1 falls outside. If I copy it down, 3 falls within. Now notice that this tests whether the value is greater than or equal to the lower limit and less than or equal to the upper limit, as we can see here with 3 returning a result of true. Now that I have my formula working, I can convert it to a lambda function. So we'll add lambda. Now I need to name the variables. So I have value, low and up. Now notice I've avoided names that are the same as existing function names like value, lower and upper. If you use existing function names, Excel can get confused as to whether you're referring to the function or your variable. Now all I need to do is replace the cell references with the names. So this one is value, this one is lower, and this one is upper. I'll close parentheses on my lambda. Now let's test that it's going to work correctly. So we'll add the variables value, lower and upper. Close parentheses. It returns the same results. Let's just copy it down to be sure. So it's all good to go. All I need to do now is copy it, define a name for it. It's picked up between inclusive, and I think that's a suitable name because remember this includes the limits, the upper and lower limits. I'll paste my formula into the refers to, and let's add a comment. So I just want to say it tests whether a value falls between two values, including the upper and lower limits, and the syntax is equals between inclusive, value, lower limit, and upper limit. Let's test the formula. There it is there, tab to select it, open parentheses. So all I need to do is select my value, my lower and upper, close. It correctly evaluates. I can copy it down. Of course, you can nest your lambdas inside other functions too. For example, you might want to return some text or perform another calculation if the value falls inside the limits. Now another use for the between function is testing if dates fall between a start and end range, as you can see here with these dates. Lambda loves let and let loves lambda. These functions work great together. Let's take income tax as an example, which is often calculated on a bracket system. These are our current financial year's tax brackets for Australia. You can see the first 18,200 is tax-free, then the next 26,800 that takes you up to 45,000 is taxed at 19%, then the next 75,000 to take you up to 120,000 income is taxed at 32.5%. The next 60,000 that takes you up to 180,000 income is taxed at 37%, and anything over 180,000 is taxed at 45%. Now one way we can perform this calculation is with a complex nested if formula. But formulas like this are difficult to use and they're easily broken, which makes them perfect for creating as a custom function. Now in row 4 you can see I've inserted the variable names that I'm going to use, and column F contains the tax amount for the upper limit of each bracket, and this is just going to help me author my lambda in the grid. So I'm going to start by copying the if formula that's in this cell, and here I'll paste it in. So we want to wrap this in Lambda. I only have one input variable, which is the taxable income, so I'm going to call it TI for short. Let's Alt and Enter to wrap the if down onto the next row. Now all I need to do is replace TI everywhere I have the taxable income amount. So the taxable income I used in this example is 190,000. Let's replace them all and close parentheses on the lambda. Now let's test it. I'll enter 190,000 into the variable field inside parentheses at the end, press enter, and you can see it returns the same amount as my nested if, so I know my lambda is correct. But if we look at it, there's still a lot of repetition in this function with the same cells being referenced repeatedly. And what would make this even easier to write and read later on is to use the let function to declare the upper limit, the tax rate, and the tax amount variables for each bracket. So let me copy the lambda, and down here I'm just going to start fresh to write my let. So after declaring the variable name, I'm going to Alt Enter to start a new line, and we'll start the let. So here I want to declare all my variables. So starting with bracket 1, which has an upper limit of 18,200. Bracket 2 has an upper limit of 45,000 and a rate of 19%, which yields a taxable amount of 5,092. Bracket 3 has an upper limit of 120,000, a rate of 32.5%, and a taxable amount of 24,375. Bracket 4 has an upper limit of 180,000, a rate of 37%, and taxable amount of 22,200. And the final bracket, 5, simply has a rate of 45%. It's going to pick up the rest. So now that I've declared all of my variables, I just need to replace the cell references in the if with the variable names. And to save me some time, I'm just going to paste in the if formula that I created earlier. I'll close my let and close my lambda. I've still got the variable at the end, so we can test if it works. Just simply press enter and we get the same result. So I'm happy that my lambda is evaluating correctly. Now all I need to do is copy it, define a name, I'll call it income tax, paste it in the refers to, put in a comment that explains what it does, and click OK. Now I can test that it's working in this table here. So equals income tax, open parentheses, select my cells, close parentheses, and there you have the income tax easily calculated with my custom lambda, which requires just one value. Well, it's early days for the Excel Lambda function, and the authoring experience needs some work. The Excel team at Microsoft are aware of this and have a ton of improvements planned to address these shortfalls. And while the Lambda function will never be available in Excel 2019 or earlier, workbooks containing Lambda formulas will still show the results of custom Lambda functions when opened in earlier versions. However, if the user edits the cell in Excel 2019 or earlier, the formula will then return an error. Well, this is just the beginning for Lambdas. You might like to try them with dynamic arrays or data types. You can even do recursion, which I'll cover next week. I hope you're excited about the new Lambda function. You can download the Excel file for this lesson from the link here. And if you like this video, please give it the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. And why not share it with your friends who might also find it useful. Thanks for watching.